So what's that one?
That one is tetanus, diphtheria, polio.
Yeah.
This one is hepatitis A and typhoid.
Okay.
Okay.
After 10 years celebrating the homes of Britain, I'm now going to India's largest slum. Dharavi looks like a hellhole. Disease is rife, water's contaminated, and sanitation is rudimentary. But architects, planners, and even Prince Charles are convinced that this slum has something to teach us.
I strongly believe that the West has much to learn from societies and places which, while sometimes poorer in material terms, are in many senses infinitely richer in the ways in which they live and organise themselves as communities.
You don't see him selling Highgrove and buying a slum in Mumbai. I mean, it smacks slightly, doesn't it, of hypocrisy. I want to see for myself if Dharavi can in any way be the answer to anyone's problems. I've been living in the slum for a week. Where am I sleeping?
It depends on you.
No, it doesn't depend on me. There's no space left. And so far, I found a place where people live in unacceptable conditions. Imagine if this caught fire, this place. This is an entirely wooden structure set within these brick walls. And with plenty of rats.
Oh, bloody hellfire. I can't do this anymore.
But I've begun to see it also has things we lack in our cities. A strong sense of community, safe neighbourhoods, and an 85% employment rate that puts us in the UK to shame. Now, I'm going to work. Right, we get back on? Childhood dream to ride up front, you know. In the jewel of Dharavi's crown. Everything here is recycled. One of the world's biggest and most jaw-dropping recycling schemes. It's as though the place is deliberately trying to screw your mind, you know? Mumbai is one of the world's mega cities. A population of 16 million people, but where more than half live in slums. The most talked about is Dharavi, where, surrounded by the city's skyscrapers and wealth, 1 million people are crammed into 1 square mile, recycling Mumbai's rubbish. Today, I want to see Dharavi's recycling zone in action. It's a world that practically no one outside the slum sees. Not many people have the stomach to get past where I am now, its front door. These are the toilets for the... Well, it's obvious, isn't it, what they are, really? Because as yesterday's shit passes floating by, so today's shit gets deposited just here. You can tell by the yellow streaks down the wall. Do you know there's not even a toilet in these? There's not even a hole in the bottom of them. There's just a missing floorboard. That's all there is. This tiny little corridor along the back here is just full of flies. And these people are just queuing up to use these. This is about as basic as you can get, isn't it? Where's the recycling area? Is it just past here?
Here.
It's here. Where in other words, where I've just walked along by the river.
Yeah.
What? I can't concentrate, actually. I've got this smell of human excrement in my nostrils. That was one of the most unpleasant experiences, not because of what I was seeing, but just the smell and the flies. It's still there. What's in that? There's no fish in there, that's for sure. There's a lot of dengue fever, cholera, hepatitis. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You fall in that, you die, don't you? That's just not right, that human beings have to live next to that. This poisoned river reflects one of the main paradoxes of Dharavi. It can barely sustain life itself, but just yards away is the recycling area that could show us the way, so I'm told, to a sustainable future. Yogurt pots, packaging, but they're sorting it all into different types of plastic. Manually, sitting on the floor, in a shed. Amazing. Like a little workshop for every tiny little subdivision of recycling that exists. This place is extraordinarily imaginative. Everything's recycled, from containers and cosmetics to computer keyboards. They are stripping out copper cable, worth a fortune obviously. That can be sent off a scrap and melted down. This is incredible. Look, this is electrical cabling cover which has been stripped off. And this is water pipe. I didn't think you could recycle half this stuff. And that is the amazing thing about this place. They seem to be able to recycle everything. You know, in the UK, we get told, oh no, you can't recycle this plastic. We can't recycle, no, can't do this. Everything here is recycled. In the UK, 23% of our plastic waste gets recycled. Here in Mumbai, it's an incredible 80%. And it happens in Dharavi. So I've decided to follow the recycling trail. I've come into the city. I want to find out how such a vast quantity of Mumbai's rubbish finds its way to the slum. Hello. Hi. The city's dustbin men have let me join their morning shift. Stay for me. Thank you. Good colour. It's a childhood dream to ride up front, you know, in a dump truck with the dustbin men. But now you can take it off. You just keep it on all the time, your mask, yeah?
No, only when we work.
See, I don't know what you look like. Ah, now I know what you look like. Great way of seeing Mumbai. This is like seeing it from the top of a double-decker bus. Over 1 million rubbish bags are collected across Mumbai every day. Can't stop myself. Right, we get back on. It's the great warrior of the road, isn't it, this machine? Nothing will get in the way of this. Gargantuan beast. See, we're stopping at the Mayfair Hotel, so we can see what they chuck out. Oh, there's kitchen waste. That's lovely. That's spilled everywhere. Yuck. In the UK, bin men, if they turned up and found that, they'd just walk away, wouldn't they? They'd say, I'm sorry, mate. And rightly so. Okay, we get another one. Lovely, food everywhere. What's interesting is that I've seen no plastic bottles, nothing of any real kind of value, because the staff already probably have gone through and separated out and bagged up and sold on for money the really high value recycling stuff, like the plastic bottles. Along Mumbai's streets, people wait to rifle through the bins for what's left. An army of 35,000 rag pickers, feeding Dharavi's insatiable appetite for plastic. Is this your bag, yeah? Let me see. No, it's all paper and card and some plastic. Got plastic as well. She's also sorted a great pile of rags as well here. Do you know, the thing is, I've seen these people at work, and you see people going through rubbish, you think, oh, poor sods, you know, desperate for something to eat. They're not doing that. They're sorting the rubbish to earn money, to get the recycled material out of it. It's only sitting on the truck today that my eyes were open. Suddenly I looked around and saw the city in a different kind of way, with these levels of people, all part of this great big recycling machine, you know, thousands of them. The plastic that's made it into the back of the truck, the stuff that's evaded the hotel staff, servants and rag pickers, has by no means escaped. There's another army in wait on the city's dumps. Anywhere else in the world, this rubbish might be worthless. Here, recycling it is people's livelihoods. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. This is one of Mumbai's vast dumps. Rubbish is destined to be moved from here to Dharavi, where thousands of people are employed in an industry that recycled an incredible 80% of Mumbai's plastic waste, a figure that puts the UK to shame. But having spent the morning doing the city's rubbish round, I find it hard to believe there's anything of any value left. Wow. Oh, these people are...
They are rag pickers. Come.
Yeah. I will in a minute. Nothing has prepared me for this. It's the side of Mumbai few people get to see, and that the authorities don't want me to see. It took weeks of negotiating to get access, and now I can see why. Don't worry.
I think you are shocked.
I am a bit.
Okay.
I am a lot, actually. But they're sifting through everything.
Yes.
That girl, that little girl is opening bags of
Yes.
waste food and rubbish that people have thrown away. And
Yes. Just collecting the bags.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. That's animals' intestines down there. The stench here is just... They've got these weird hooks to fish everything out with, but they're not wearing gloves. Each rag picker is searching for their specific plastic. Polystyrene packaging, drinking straws, even something which we in the West think is beyond recycling, used plastic bags. Everything has a value. These kids are how old? 12, 14? These kids here are bare feet. This boy in front of me here is barefoot. He's barefoot in all this shit. Mud and all the liquid waste from these piles, you know? Oh, bless her, this girl's trying not to get her feet dirty, look. Oh, yeah, this guy, he's spraying. What's he spraying? It's completely token. He's just wandering around, spraying a jet. Oh, he's spraying disinfectant. Oh, it's pointless. Pointless. Oh, Christ. I can't cope with these people doing this, John. Poor souls. Look, they're queuing up like hungry beggars, waiting for this thing to disgorge. Look. Good God, that's going to fall on that woman's head.
No, but he will take care.
You want to know what recycling is? That's recycling. There's 20 people around a heap of shit working under the hot sun in appalling conditions. How much do they earn, these people?
They must be earning around 100 to 150 every day.
A pound?
Rupees, yes.
A pound a day. Their livelihood depends on old, broken, filthy plastic bags. I don't care how necessary the living is to these people. I just... it makes me want to stop using plastic bags for a start. And much as they perform a very useful job, I'm sorry, I can't think straight. I'm so confused by this place. I'm so upset by this place. You know, it's sort of... It's degrading. There aren't many things in life that are, but sorting other people's shit is. At the edge of the dump, the rag pickers sort their haul before selling it on to Dharavi's dealers. You see that? She's doing it barefoot. She sells these bags to this man, to Abu, yeah?
Right.
And he buys them. How much
Yes.
for? How much is a bag of that
इसका पैसा
stuff?
he buys for 3 rupees kg.
3 rupees, that's tuppence, 2p.
And then this, that is for 5 rupees.
5 rupees for the bag of plastic, so you get a premium for that. This woman works on this dump every day of the year to scrape enough money together to put her 2 children through school. She's saying that she's ashamed to be filmed doing a dirty job. I've spent the best part of a day on these dumps, and I'm completely torn by what happens here. Without it, what happens? Without it, these people have no jobs. Without it, actually, that mountain of rubbish over there is 4 times as high, you know. And without it, we run out of resources. Back in Dharavi, a lot of the stuff that we would bury in landfill in the UK arrives around the clock at an area called Compound 13, Dharavi's recycling zone. My key to getting into this largely illegal and unregulated place is my slum millionaire friend Mobeen Sheikh, who it turns out is something of a plastics guru. What plastic is that?
It is HIPS, high impact polystyrene.
But how do you know what everything is?
I have been working since childhood in this.
So you know all these different plastics?
I know all. I can
but how many different plastics are there? 200 or 300 now?
There are around 100 to 200 different kinds of plastic.
Okay, yeah.
And I can tell them by just looking at them.
So what's this plastic here? That looks very
It's
white.
a food container, PPE.
PPE.
Yeah,
What's
polypropylene.
That? Polypropylene.
Polypropylene.
Okay. Oh my good lord! This is everything. This is everything. This is CDs, bits of wire and radio.
These are from electronic waste.
So what will this stuff become?
That CD will be recycled again made into electrical switches.
Right. So what about this clear stuff?
The clear
What does
stuff
that
is
become?
polystyrene it is.
Yeah.
It will be reconverted into plastic bangles which ladies wear.
Bangles.
There is a lot of demand for bangles in India.
Does it mean eventually the plastic has to stop being something? Does it...
No, plastic cannot be stopped. It will be continuously get recycled and
Really?
recycled and recycled.
What about? Oh look, what's this? These are looks like these are paint cans.
Paint drums, yes. They are heated and reconditioned.
What
Will
about
be
all the paint
reconditioned.
residue inside? That is burnt off.
That is burnt off. That is burnt off.
That's toxic, isn't it? Often you're talking about volatile compounds, dried paints. It's very dangerous work. This very dangerous. Oh my godfathers! What's the life expectancy of this man? He's not going to live very long doing this.
He will live as long as you live.
You really? I hope so.
Really, they
I hope so.
adapted
But I
to-
don't know what that means because it's highly toxic and there's no extraction here.
The
There's no
harder the
extraction.
work, the more the immune system gets stronger.
Oh my goodness me! Look! It's going out as a newly primed,
See, all the steps
red
have been
oxide
covered.
painted drum. This isn't recycling as much as it's not chipping down.
Reconditioning of drum.
Thank you, Mabeen. It's reconditioning.
Reconditioning of drum.
They come in like this.
Yes.
They go out.
See the
Brand
Berger
new.
paints, Asian paints and all. This is one of the godowns for recycling of this waste generated from the hotel industry.
Right.
If you wish to join them in and with sorting work, doing the sorting work,
Yeah.
you will be able to understand better.
So you're suggesting I get down there and
Yeah,
and do
get
it?
down along with them and I shall meet you later.
Right.
Have a good time over here.
Thank you.
Kevin.
I might. I could squat just here. Ah, thank you. She's slitting them for me. Right, the process here is to take the clear ones go in there, and take the labels off. The labels are PVC, so they go in that one. Only white can go in here. I mean, you know, this stuff has been sitting on rubbish tips all over Mumbai. Oh, this one's been nibbled at by rats. Look, there are the teeth marks. Quite dispiriting. I've only been doing it for 10 minutes. Surrounded by kids working with next to no protective gear, this is another downside of Dharavi's recycling miracle. The worst of it is, I didn't realise, look, underneath here, at the bottom of the pile, syringe. It's hospital waste. And maybe in amongst there's some needles as well. I mean, they're more minus needles, but you don't really want to know, do you? And you certainly don't want to be handling it. Where does it go though? Which one? I don't want it. I bloody well don't want it. Just when you think you might be approaching an end to something, more shit appears.
Hello, Mr. Kevin.
Hello, Mr. Mabeen.
I have been all day long in the recycling area.
Well, yeah, well, enough to, yes, disenchant me. I tell you, in my country, recycling is almost fashionable. It's become a sort of middle-class fashion to recycle. There's nothing glamorous about this. I can tell you, nobody in my country would be interested in doing this job. Sorting through piles of plastic to discover syringes on the floor underneath. I mean, nobody would do it. Nobody would do it. So where's the next load then?
Now it is closing time. Now it is closing time.
Oh.
It's almost 7 o'clock.
Joy.
Now they clean up the area, and this area will be made into a makeshift sleeping area.
Oh my goodness, really?
If you wish, you can join them.
Do you know what? I don't. I'll leave them to their relaxing time. I get exhausted by this place, and the reason I get exhausted is because absolute delight is alternated with utter horror. It's that kind of boom, 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 boom. You know, it's picture after picture after picture. It's as though the place is deliberately trying to screw your mind, you know. And it's exhausting when you come up here. What you see is this great sea of plastic, and this place recycles 80% of Mumbai's plastic. 80%. Look, it's all here. Look, that's an epic statistic. But despite its success stories, Dharavi's recycling days look numbered. A $2 billion redevelopment plan is set to raise all of recycling and most of the slum to the ground. The trouble is with human beings is that it's always easier to knock things down. And when you let a developer in anywhere, or a corporation in anywhere, the first inevitable instinct is to destroy everything to remake it. This should be remodeled in a major way, that this should become a healthier place to live and work. Simple as that, yeah? Dharavi, India's biggest slum, is located only minutes away from the Bollywood mansions and skyscrapers of Mumbai's financial district. And that has made it a valuable target for redevelopment. You can't argue with demolishing the bad, but I've discovered that there are many inspiring elements here, and they too will be razed to the ground. Kumbhawada is the pottery area where last week I stayed with Monica and 20 other members of her family. It's a place where 10,000 people live and work in one of the oldest and most well-established slum neighborhoods. At the end of a long day recycling rubbish, it was a pleasure to be back again. Hello.
Hi,
Hi, Grandma. How are you?
Yeah.
How are you, Monica?
Yes,
Good. Hi.
I think you're tired. Good.
I am tired. I want to know what happens to Monica and her family when the bulldozers arrive. There are developers talking about redeveloping Dharavi, and I mean, does that happen everywhere?
I develop करवावे इसने Dharavi.
Yes, yes. When is this going to happen? Is it soon?
Yes, soon it will happen. It will be.
I cannot believe thousands of people relying on an industry which they've done here for decades is going to just be.
She is saying that our house is big,
But they are giving the
but we
small.
want like this house, big one. But they are giving a small one.
They want to destroy everything here
Yes.
and give you a new house. So
New
what's
house,
wrong? What's wrong with that?
But
But
they are
they are
giving
giving
small amount of space.
small area.
Then we are not comfortable in it.
Room.
I can't imagine it being much smaller. There are 21 people living here.
They are doing pottery work, so it's not possible for them to live in a small compartment. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. There's no. I mean, the developer isn't going to give you a kiln on the roof of your building, is he?
Yes. If they destroy this, then where we will go?
Monica and the Potters are not alone in worrying about what's going to happen to them. A 10-minute walk away from the pottery area is an ancient fishing village. It's been described as Dharavi's hidden gem. ancient old building here with wooden shutters and here, stone, not brick. Namaste. It no longer looks over the water because the mangrove swamps have been filled with rubbish, but it still retains a lot of charm. Look at this. This is an entire fishing market down here. I'm thinking that this is, in my imaginings of what India is like, this is it. People, colour, noise, laughter, energy. This is not a shanty. It feels more like a bustling Mediterranean village, one that would also have evolved organically. Amazing colours. With no grand plan, no developers, no architects. Oh my goodness, this is Dharavi meets Art Deco down here. These people have created, over time, a place of real quality. Somewhere with strong, safe neighbourhoods and squares where people of all ages meet. It's all the things we used to have. And these are built-in flower baskets. Sorry? On each column, concrete basket for the flowers. Concrete basket. This is great, isn't it? Terrazzo marble. It's really kind of high grade, all this. But here, marble slab, storage underneath, seats and benches everywhere. It's chaotic as you would expect it to be, but it's also magical, this place. The residents, though, are fearful all this could disappear with the redevelopment plan. If you could dream up an ideal place for a community to live in, then pretty well most of what you would hope for, being able to walk everywhere, minimal car use, you know, wonderful old buildings here and there, great sense of community, public space, market that you could walk to. These things most people dream of, you know? Look, and an open-air restaurant. Shops on every corner, being able to find everything you want within 5 minutes of leaving your home. And living in a community of people who've lived there for 50 or 100 years, you know, generations have been here. Those things together have to constitute the components of a civilized life, really. Do you know about the redevelopment plans for Dharavi?
I'll come down.
Yeah, okay. What's your view about this area? What do you need here? What would you like here?
Now need is drainage. Drainage is just like this, which has to be put. Anytime it gets overflown.
So in the rainy season, it really does flood here?
Anytime, not only in rainy season, but anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the corporation of Mumbai have their way and this area goes, do you want to live in a 7 or 10-story building, in a flat, in 225 square feet?
Majority of them don't want.
Okay.
Majority of them.
Do some people want it?
Some people want. But majority of them, not accepted.
Why do you want to keep this place?
This is our village ancestors' place. Ancestors' place. Forefathers' place.
From what you're saying, you would like to see some improvements here for drainage and water.
Yes, yes.
But actually, other than that,
We don't want skyscrapers and Shanghais and anything over here.
can you imagine a developer coming here and saying that's all got to go? And this building should be listed. What's driving the threat of redevelopment is the value of land. It's already become so high, the slum even has its own estate agents. I just don't understand how they can sell property that people don't exactly own. Do you know what I mean? How's that happen? The property king with the top real estate on his books is a man called Shakil, but he doesn't make it easy to window shop. Well, it ain't down there, is it? Look. Is this it? Hello? Shakil? There's somebody preparing potatoes there. It's like no estate agents I've been to. Hello, I'm Kevin. How are you? My head on the fans here. These fans are kind of like haircut level, you know? So this is where you do business?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's the blackboard for?
Just for writing some requirements and I think.
Okay, obviously business is booming at the moment. Yeah, do you take a commission? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you earn the money.
1% commission.
1%?
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Of total cost.
I wouldn't mind estate agents having facilities like this in the UK if they only charge 1%. In the UK they charge 2 or 3. You know?
No, in Arab it's especially 1%.
Yeah.
I mean, like I want to sell my flat and all.
Despite the empty blackboard, Shakil's keen to take me to his prime property. What a shit heap.
Yeah, this is a new building. Yeah.
A new building?
Yeah, new building. 2-bedroom, yeah. It is an expensive flat in Dharavi.
Is it one of the most expensive?
Yeah. It is one of the most expensive.
Well, and that's 50 lakh.
Yeah.
90,000 pounds. Complete fortune in Dharavi. In a slum. In Dharavi. At 90 grand, it's got to look better on the inside. So is there a problem going in or?
Yeah, actually.
You want to get permission?
Yeah, right. Okay, they're going to have discussions, yeah?
Yeah.
We will get the permission tomorrow. You want to see inside?
Yeah, if we can.
Get
Can we?
permission tomorrow.
Tomorrow. We've got to come back tomorrow.
कोई permission इधर है.
All right, we can go in now. Thank you very much. A few confused phone calls later, and we're in. On our way up to a very dark, very small apartment. So this is what? What do we get?
Hall. This is a hall.
Right.
2 bathroom.
Yeah.
This WC, American style.
American style WC.
This bedroom.
Right. So more or less 3 rooms this size and a toilet.
Yeah.
And another toilet. Okay, so this room is 8 foot wide. There we are. Look, it's 2 paces wide. Actually, that's probably 7 foot, and it's 5, maybe 15 feet long. 15, yeah. You do get a coolness though.
Sure.
I'm shocked that it costs so much money. Sitting in the middle of Mumbai, Dharavi's square mile is worth billions to developers. Despite everything positive I've learnt about the place, to them it's an eyesore and a real estate goldmine. The man driving this redevelopment is architect and property tycoon Mukesh Mehta.
This is a matter of shame, right in the heart of the city, the financial capital of India. Are we going to accept this? The answer is no.
Mukesh's grand vision is to rid India of the slums he thinks shame it. He wants to rebuild it with the help of world-class architects like Norman Foster, with, yes, you've guessed it, a seductive landscape of glass and steel, walkways, green spaces and monorails.
These are ground and 14-storied structures. These are ground and 20
As for the slum dwellers, they'll get rehoused in tower blocks.
Ground and 18 for the slum dwellers.
The thing is, we did all this in the 1960s. We took slums, we demolished them, we put up next door to them, big, 20-story buildings, and we are demolishing those buildings now.
But because of the densities that exist in Dharavi, we have no option but to go vertical.
One thing I know from visiting places like the Finnish slides, the future, the idea that you're proposing, is that we've done all this stuff so much in the West, and so often people are miserable as a result. What I'm asking is, how do they maintain that same social integrity?
I will absolutely show you the detailed plans on how we will go about with that.
Mukesh's plans are ambitious and persuasive and will no doubt reveal a shiny new Dharavi. But craftsmen like the potters will be forced to live and work in separate places, and industries like recycling will get shut down. Who is eligible for what here?
As per the government rules, anyone who has been living in the apartment since 2000 is eligible. On the ground floor, not on the upper floors.
So you're only going to offer a certain proportion of the population?
Absolutely. That's the part of the scheme that I'm not in agreement with.
In Mumbai, the city of dreams, the government is desperate to rid itself of slums, but it appears it just hasn't thought about the thousands of people who'll be displaced. I have a theory that I'm about to test. I've got myself a posh suit and got on the guest list at one of Mumbai's hottest parties this week. Hi, Kevin McCloud, hello.
Nice
From England, how are you? Pleasure, how are you? My guess is that the other half of the city, Mumbai's fashionable, moneyed classes, have little idea what'll be lost if the slum goes.
They would be very interested in knowing what you're doing.
Really?
Because they never get there anyway.
Do people not go?
No.
I'm just 2 miles from Dharavi, but it may as well be a million.
And I have to tell you guys, I wore this beautiful pink dress.
Last week I was sleeping in Dharavi. I spent the week with the...
Oh, no?
Yeah. What do you mean, no? It was okay. It was fine, actually, for a few days.
Yeah?
Have you been?
You know, I've been in passing.
I mean, what's the general feeling in this end of Bombay about Dharavi? What do people say? What's the impression that Dharavi gives?
Honestly, from people like my age, in the 20s and stuff, because of Slumdog Millionaire, you know, it's so sad that we living in Bombay, we don't know the kind of things that go around in Dharavi. We just see it as a slum area and that's it. We always look down upon it. But I think through the movie again, we have learned to look up to those people. And with such little things, they're still so happy. And we, with all our materialistic and superficial things, we're still sulking. Like, we have a lot to learn from them.
You're not still sulking, are you?
Not me, but a lot of us, yeah.
Really?
Where are you staying, if you don't mind me asking you, which hotel?
Do you know what? I've been staying in Dharavi. I've been staying with some families near the rest.
All the viruses going around, it was very courageous of you to stay there. It's really gutsy.
So
I mean, staying in Bombay, I can't still do that.
It seems my theory might be right. Mumbai really is a tale of two cities. One man who's concerned about the future of the slum dwellers is Professor of Architecture Mustansir Dalvi. He's giving me a warning of what redevelopment could look like. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This looks super dense.
It is.
What are we looking at?
It also shows you the future of a place like Dharavi. It's very, very densely packed so that they take the least area possible and at the same time house the same number of people who earlier were spread out into ground plus one buildings over a large area.
They are just a couple of meters away from each other, these buildings.
When you have flats like these, you would have these long corridors accessing your individual apartment, which once you're inside and you lock up, you're completely isolated from the rest of the world. And that is a situation which would never happen in a slum, where you are always part of the community at large.
I hadn't appreciated just how close and how mean they are. I mean, in comparison, my experience of staying with people in Dharavi seems positively generous. One thing other that it really hits me about these buildings is that they look dirty and degraded, and yet, how old are they?
I wouldn't say that they're more than 5-6 years old.
You're joking.
Probably.
No, they've got to be older than that.
No, not necessarily.
That's appalling. The view from above may be frightening, but down on the ground in Dharavi, experiencing the mess of previous botched development plans is deeply depressing. These are vertical slums. Nobody's interested in quality in the built environment. Nobody's interested in looking after what they've got. I mean, the people of this place, I don't know what this was like when they moved in, but I can't believe it was exactly like this. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, how human beings can just focus on the little patch in which they operate and can't organise themselves to look after a bit of public space and trash what they've got, trash it. This is the most depressing place I've seen here. I really don't buy the fact that when you put people into places like this that you get just as strong a sense of community as you do in places like Rwanda or the transit camp. It just doesn't happen. And this is what does happen. This kind of trash. You know, I don't care what Mehta says about culture differences between the West and here. I think the world over, when you put people into buildings like this is what happens. I'm convinced of that. I've been here in Mumbai for more than 2 weeks, mostly in the slum below. But from up here, I can view Dharavi the way the rest of the city sees it. I think people look at this place and they think, this is a slum, it's dirty, it's wild, it's dangerous, it's full of crime, and the people here live by whatever means possible. It just looks like one giant sprawling place, but I know that each of these areas is a separate community of people doing different things, living life slightly differently. And you know, that the whole idea of taking these big chunks and dividing them up and saying, okay, here's sector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you, developer 1, take this area and do that, developer 2, you take this, it seems slightly nonsensical, because the grain of this place is much finer than that. Even though people have been praising this place, before I arrived I was very sceptical about what it could teach us. You expect to see, don't you, above that bridge a sign that said, "Abandon hope, all ye who enter." It is without doubt the noisiest, dirtiest, most foul-smelling place I've ever been. Mind the dead rats. Just there.
Oh, bloody hell. I just saw him disappear up. I can't do this anymore.
You can't ignore the poor sanitation, the overcrowding, the unhealthy working conditions.
There is blood down there.
Yeah, mine just...
Just mind with your camera.
Oh my godfathers. But Dharavi is a place of extraordinary contrasts. It is an embryonic city, humming with human energy and determination. And it offers economic migrants the chance of a job. And it makes me begin to question why we have all this health and safety in my country. Living here has been nothing like I expected. She's laughing. Both of them are laughing. Because I'm useless. My food's been manhandled by 8 people now. I keep thinking, who are all these people? Then I remember there are 21 people who live in this house. So this is a small portion of the family. People here are happy, welcoming, and hugely proud of where they live. I feel very relaxed, very welcome. I never thought I'd say it, but I have enjoyed my time here. Hi. I'm exhausted. I've lost my voice again. Second chest infection. In 2 weeks. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting healthy. But it's I have really mixed feelings about leaving this place, leaving these people here, because, you know, I think there's a lot I can take home. Kumbhawada, especially, has taught me lessons about living a low-impact, sustainable life with everything you need on your doorstep, about how space can be multifunctional and shared, that pride of place and community create safe neighborhoods. Yeah, I thought it might be rougher. I thought it might be more criminal. I thought it might be more less organized and far more chaotic and rough. But it's the opposite of those things. It's fine and rather beautifully grained. Hi.
Hi.
How are you? All right.
Fine.
The only reason this can be called a slum is because doesn't have great sanitation, doesn't have great health, doesn't have fantastic education. It's good enough. And hygiene isn't good, but that could all be changed. That could all be, you know, put in. That's the frustrating thing. It's clear that improving this place would be far more beneficial to the people here than redeveloping it, and that if only these communities could galvanize themselves, there's a chance they'll survive with a better standard of living and just as good a quality of life. What have we got wrong that they've got right? I kind of think we've spent the last 60 years since the war pursuing the material at the expense of pursuing happiness. Not that the material is necessarily bad, but that actually the important thing is to be happy. And these people have a magic knack of being happy. Come through. It's a tour. It's a tour of the slum.
It's a tour of Dharavi.
Nice.
I think anybody who comes to this part of the world leaves with a sense of how little we really need from the West to make us happy.
I hope that when the city moves in here, it just deals with the bad and does not destroy the good.
Hi, how are you? You're very smart. Where's Monica? Is she here? Monica,
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
Yeah?
I'm leaving. I wanted to thank you very much.
Yes, yeah.
This is what we do in the West.
Yeah.
2 kisses. Thank you very much for all your help and being
my
such a
pleasure, yes.
fantastic translator. Thank you for letting me stay with you. Jai Krishna. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. See you again. Sanjay, thank you very much. Uncle, thank you. And Jai Krishna, and good luck. Goodbye. Goodbye. I like that. No kissing, just lots of this. Yeah. Thank you, Granny. See you again, I hope. Yeah. Long life. All that. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Happy journey, Kevin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel ready to go home. But I think whatever happens here with these people, whatever happens, the one thing that has to be preserved is that lovely, that warmth, that sort of sense of connection between all of them, that happiness thing. And I just pray God it does, you know. There must be at least half a dozen little rats playing. They've all come out to play now. I'm not going to miss them.